But today, for the beyond critical race theory, which is critical race facts, we're going to talk about cornrows.
Mm.
How cornrows were used as an escape map from slavery. Check this out. Cornrows have become a crowd favorite for women of every culture in the last 10 years, whereas it used to be worn by children, especially young African and so called African American girls. The style has become widely popular among women of all ages. The journey to freedom was never easy, but African Americans still found ingenious ways to escape from the terrible bonds of slavery. Many of these escape routes were laced into the hair of enslaved people in a style known as cornrows that served as maps from South America all the way up north. We're going to take you through an inspiring odyssey and explore how these braids acted as an indispensable tool for determined individuals who refused to surrender their dreams of liberation against impossible odds. These are the stories told by cornrows. Cornrows have long been a facet of African beauty and life. In many African societies, braid patterns, hairstyles indicates a person's community, age, marital status, wealth, power, social position, and so-called religion. In the Caribbean, the style may be referred to as cane rows to represent slaves planting sugarcane and not corn. The styles
Mm.
consist of braiding the hair very close to the scalp in an underhand upward motion to create a single line of raised row, creating the cornrow. Depictions of women with cornrows have been found in Stone Age paintings in the Tassili Plateau of the Sahara and have been dated as far back as 3000 BC. There are also Native American paintings as far back as 1,000 years showing cornrows as a hairstyle. This tradition of female styling in cornrows has remained popular throughout Africa, particularly in the Horn of Africa, or so called West Africa, or what they erased off the map, so called Negro land.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, male styling, now we get into the male part. Historically, male styling with cornrows can be traced as far back as the early 19th century to Ethiopia, where warriors and kings such as Tawadros II and Johannes IV were depicted wearing cornrows. Now, this is the role during the Atlantic slave trade. During the Atlantic slave trade, many enslaved people were forced to shave their hair to be more quote unquote sanitary and also to move them away from their culture and identity. But not all enslaved Africans would keep their hair cut. Instead, many would braid their hair tightly in cornrows and more to maintain a neat and tidy appearance. Enslaved African Americans also used cornrows to transfer and create maps to leave plantations and the home of their captors. This act of using hair as a tool for resistance is said to have been evident across South America. Cornrows were most documented in Colombia. Vincos Vigio, a king captured from Africa by the Portuguese who escaped slavery, built San Basilio de Palenque, a village in northern Colombia around the 17th century. Bajío created his own language and intelligence network and came up with the idea to have women create maps and deliver messages through cornrows. Since slaves were rarely given the privilege of writing material, or even if they did have it, such kind of messages or maps getting in the wrong hands could create a lot of trouble for the people in questions. So cornrows were a perfect way to go about such things.